So this week I've decided not to write 300 to 400 words, but rather discuss my findings within a podcast, which has proven to be much more difficult than written communication, although it is quite fun in the process. So the materials for this week focus on the third media revolution, the potential for a fourth media revolution, and how data algorithms and networks and artificial intelligence may have an influence on this fourth media revolution. So within this podcast, I'll be focusing on artificial intelligence and its potential to have a large influence on a fourth media revolution as well as a fourth industrial revolution. So artificial intelligence has become much more prevalent within society today in areas of education, healthcare, and employment, and just other day-to-day aspects of society, such as travel, which is artificial intelligence is particularly prevalent within the use of cars and self-driving cars. So the driverless cars uses data input such as location, direction, and speed, and utilizes them to turn and steer, brake, accelerate, indicate just like a human would. Although it still requires various cars to this day require some level of human input, it is developing to become a predominantly self-driving car. However, there are various issues within the self-driving car, as many believe that it reduces the level of human responsibility and human capabilities. Many believe that if we let cars drive itself, then we'll become much more dependent on technologies and much more trusting on technology. This kind of feeds into the idea that the potential of a fourth media revolution and developments within the third media revolution will lead to a much more technological based world. Or there already is a much more technological based world. I mean much more dependent on technology and a reduction in human capabilities. Another example whereby artificial intelligence is impacting and will continue to impact area of our society is the use of automation and artificial intelligence within journalism. Now, I spoke about this within my research proposal, and I found this very interesting. So, automation has become much more prominent within society today, and it has affected various different professions. Particularly and my focus was on automated journalism. So journalistic forums and companies are using automation to analyze different data and create mini reports on this data. Now this is expected to reduce human error and also increase efficiency. It employs algorithms to rearrange and construct data in coherent ways so that a human is able to read this data presented. Various journalistic stations like the Washington Post and BBC and the New York Times are implementing automated journalism within their articles. Now, much like the issue with self-driving cars and how human proficiency and human capabilities will be reduced due to the implementation of self-driving cars, automated journalism and artificial intelligence within journalism has presented the same ideas about how machines and different technologies are, in a sense, taking over a human's role and reducing a human's capabilities. In regards to journalism and professions and how artificial intelligence are affecting these professions, many believe that it will result in a loss of jobs. However, there are also some, and myself included, believe that it will not necessarily result in a loss of jobs, but rather shift the nature of jobs demanded, enabling employees to focus on much more trivial things which cannot be done by machine or artificial intelligence, and basically improve their overall efficiency. Now, another point I'll be discussing about the third media revolution action and the implementation of a fourth media revolution is the notion of an extended mind and becoming environmental of power. So, data algorithms and networks are utilized to feed back to a system and allow companies and online forums to personalize particular examples of different content. For example, Netflix and how it utilizes different data collection and algorithms to decipher what you would potentially want to watch through and what is recommended for you to watch. This proposes the idea of an extension of mind as your personal preferences are being stored and then reused in order to personalize your experience on digital platforms. Essentially, this emphasizes the notion that both your mind and media and the world interchangeably work with one another in order to create a more individual experience, further reflecting the notion that media technologies are becoming a part of our thought processes and us as a whole. In recent years, there have been problems whereby individuals are writing programs in which they can no longer read. In order to address this problem, there is a need for a change in the educational system to enable individuals to be better prepared for a shift in the nature of jobs, primarily because of the introduction of new technologies. With this being said, the third media revolution and the potential for a fourth media revolution should be followed by increased education and an understanding of how media and communication is being transformed within our society and how we should address these not so much issues but rather these developments in order to create a world which is both humanly sustainable and technologically advanced.